We live in a framework of reality that is composed of both energy and information. E equals mc squared. One can say that all the non-physical vibrational energy, such as photons, electrons, and subatomic particles, is what miraculously gives rise to everything that we see, taste, hear, smell, and touch in this third-dimensional physical space-time reality. The solidity that we experience through the senses as a fixed thing is really a mirage. It is all just phenomenal manifestation. In the beginning of the universe, there was nothing. That pure nothingness was really no distinct thing in particular. It was void, without form, infinite spaciousness, but filled with creative, unlimited potential energy. Science has echoed this fact that everything is made up of energy, atoms, which are fundamentally composed of empty space. Out of this pregnant field of infinite and unfolding possibilities came everything that we see in form manifestation. Matter, space, time, experience, and gradual self-awareness. We cannot through our senses perceive the ultimate level of reality with our scientific instruments at hand, because at that level, it is unobservable and fundamentally empty. In other words, it transcends the mind. We are all holographic expressions of this non-local universal intelligence. Understand that we are how the universe subjectively experiences itself. This is done by creating an apparent subject-object split within consciousness. Only conscious beings can be observers. We are likened to probes for this leading-edge expansion. Different points of observing and attention of this infinite and unchanging cosmic awareness, you can say. We are intimately interconnected with this unbroken, formless oneness of life. Without us as source extensions, there would just be an ever-expanding superposition of possibilities that never gets materialized or experienced. Society has led us to believe that we are just complex physical machines, body-mind entities separate and distinct from one another, separate from nature, separate from all that we want manifested in our life. We have been conditioned to see everything as random, appearing as disconnected and coincidental, including the Big Bang, evolution, and our life's purpose, never really able to connect the dots to discern the patterns. This, however, blocks our understanding to our life's lessons when they arise, viewing it as isolated events that have nothing to do with us, poor luck, or simply assigning blame to someone or something for our apparent misfortunes. Realize that this is an erroneous belief, stems from the collective group minds that are unilluminated or unenlightened, not yet awakened to the non-dual cosmic spark of source awareness that exists within them, sleeping Buddhas that do not see that everything in life is one indivisible whole. Our mind-body is a tool, an instrument for tasting the diversity and localized experiencing as an individual, to feel a sense of being. It is what gives form to the formless. However, being born into this body of ours automatically gave us a sense of identification with it, giving us the perception of being disconnected from other people. Once this fundamental belief arises, once this foundation is built, seeing yourself as a mind-made me through identification with this dream body, then it is easy to pile on other distorted ideas or concepts held by the conditioned mind about yourself in this way. This is what we call ego consciousness, which gives rise to the hypnosis of believing your own story as a particular person, belonging to a certain race, gender, culture, religion, social status, and so on. The ego is the matrix, our limiter of consciousness, the modifier of consciousness, created by none other than consciousness itself. That what you would consider to be the paradox. This matrix is a self-contained limitation program designed for sleeping humanity, a mainframe existing all around us in order to spend our waking lives hypnotized by the sensory world that we're in. It gives rise to the sensory illusion of a physical reality appearing to be out there, tasting the illusory multiplicity of otherness, opposition, segregation, resistance, and space-time experiences. You are physically born in it. You will physically die in it. It is there when you go to school, when you play sports. It is there when you are asleep, when you are watching television, when you are shopping and doing your daily routines. It is there when you work, when you surf the web, when you have sex. It is a perceptual world of phenomenal forms, disconnectedness woven out of our beliefs, desires, goals, roles, and past conditionings in order to blind us to one simple truth about who we are. The ego matrix is not our enemy. It is a program living in everyone's head. Consider this. Without this separate sense of perspective, we as Source cannot experience what we know as life. We couldn't technically function or survive in this dualistic physical plane. The cosmic awareness needs conflict. It requires the experience of self-created egoic suffering, necessary for the Source expansion to happen through us. It was part of the plan. When this happens, it helps us to develop compassion, humility, courage, depth, and self-realization through the apparent dream forms. It makes us rediscover what the bigger picture of life is. No matter how many thought forms you have unconsciously identified with or attached your life force to, it only seems to satisfy us for a short period of time. The end results are unnecessary suffering, frustration, the feeling of being unfulfilled. Your driving inner force, your intuitive insight and knowing will, in time, seek out and bring attention to that which does not change, that which is timeless, that which is beyond the world of forms, your true self. You'll discover through self-inquiry that you are far greater beyond what you think, feel, behave, and believe. If you attach yourselves to the story that you hold about yourself or the interpretations held in the mind that does not represent your true inner nature, this will ultimately determine how you will vibrationally experience something, but in a negative way. An egoic feeling of being right over another, the need to control or playing the reactive role as a victim, are those stories we tell about ourselves and others through the skilled art of complaining. Gives us the feeling of imagined superiority, a feeling of self-importance, making the other appear as wrong, threatening, an external enemy. This strengthens our self-defined ego boundaries, creating more of a sense of feeling emotionally contracted, separate, alone. Unnecessary suffering is an accepted belief, a meaning that you have assigned into a situation as being undesirable, as being bad. Resentment gradually springs forth from these accepted ideas you have personalized, giving rise to a reactive you. Instead of unconsciously choosing unhappiness and over-identifying with your ever-changing thoughts, self-limiting beliefs, and lower emotions that mask your true essence, embrace the higher truth that you are the untouched, pure, changeless, loving light of awareness that shines behind them. After all, it is not your pure infinite being, consciousness itself, that suffers. It is the conditioned mind's limited and imagined perspective, believing itself to be a person, that suffers. You are the awareness of all that you think and feel. How can you see, experience, and express without the aliveness of awareness, without observing, without knowing? The only two things we can truly be absolutely certain of is that we exist and we are aware. This awareness is always present, aware by its very nature. It is the still and silent realm of universal and impersonal witnessing. Everything, all the comings and goings on your screen of awareness do not affect your pure watchfulness. Simply bring the attention back to the essence of all of these things, the seer behind the scene. Eternal consciousness has always been here. It has no history, for it is eternal, unmanifested, and knows nothing of time. Consciousness can be asleep to its divine nature by having an identity crisis with thought, or it can be awakened to it, but it is always consciousness. When we are asleep in consciousness, we are in a dimmed conscious state, living in the field of space-time limitation, struggles, separation, and fear. When consciousness is awake in us, we are thus enlightened. It is all in the recognition of who we are at the purest level, and the realization of everything that we are not through self-negation. You are not separate from life. You and life are one, not two. We do not have a life. We are the very life itself, as waves are to the ocean, and is one and the same. Eternal existence inexhaustibly diversifies itself in the multiplicity of space-time forms. This one life energy that you are is the single field of energy, of aliveness, the dance of infinite possibilities living vicariously through you, as you and me. This energy is vibrating, animating, and experiencing everything that we taste, smell, see, hear, and touch. It is silent, it is unseen, it is the watcher of all. The one life energy is that which sees through our eyes, thinks with our thoughts, and is the very oxygen that we breathe. It is interconnected, indivisible, paradoxical, purposeful, harmonious, and sacred. This one life energy is the deepest non-local cosmic intelligence that cannot truly be named, categorized, or fully understood by religion, philosophy, or science. It is an infinite ocean of conscious energy. We are all but a play of short-lived waves in it, rising up, having the illusion of a separate life story, and eventually falling back into the timeless primordial source, only to realize that we are that life. Life itself has been living our lives all along. There is no separate life apart from this. The story of a me is just a clever mental construct, a collection of thoughts and beliefs in the head, built around an initial thought about a separate me. It is constant and can never be created, never be destroyed, and always changing from one dream form to the next. The non-physical perspective of source awareness clearly sees its timeless essence of unicity hidden within all life's expression. This is the still and silent dimension where all illusions of differences and divisions and fear vanish from our awareness. This is the strongest gravitational pull, the vibration of unconditional love of all that is. Sink into this. Recognize it within yourself and all and embrace it, and you will truly be free.